Hello everybody, Andrea Tarowski here with Dentalelle Tutoring. In this video today, I want to talk to you guys about offices, okay? So let me start off by saying that if you're not happy working in an office, look for something else right away. There's always something else out there. I don't know about you, but I'd say when I first became a dental hygienist, there weren't a lot of jobs out there. In fact, there were next to nothing where I would have people in my class having to go back to work at the mall because they simply couldn't find anything as a dental hygienist, or maybe they found a day or two a week and that was it. Same thing for dental assisting. There was just nothing out there. But I'm being honest when I say there is a lot out there now, to the point where the office where I work at, I called in sick about 2 weeks ago. And they couldn't find somebody to take my place. They called temp agencies. Everybody seemed to be working. They called people whose resumes they had, and those people said, oh, well, I'm actually working now. So they couldn't find somebody to cover my shift. Yet, I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago, there were tons of people out there who would work for anything just to be, in their chosen career field as a dental hygienist or a dental assistant. But these days, the good ones just don't seem to be out there. In the office where I am now, we have, when a hygienist calls in sick or is on holidays, we call a temp agency to have somebody come in. But half the time, they don't show up. Or they show up and it looks like they've never worked in a dental office before, yet they have 10 years experience. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense. There are hygienists out there, but they either just don't want to work or they're so picky that they don't want to work. I'm not sure what else to say, but it seems a little bit strange. But what I want to talk to you guys about is, it's a lot easier now to get a job. So there are a lot out there, actually. Even if you don't see them being advertised, ask around. Make sure to join a lot of Facebook groups, Facebook pages. There are some out there for temp dental hygienists, temp dental assistants. There's Canadian Dental Hygiene Network, Canadian Dental Assisting, things like that, right? So make sure to join those pages, because if you're looking for work, post in there, and I can almost guarantee you people will be sending you a message saying, hey, well, I'm looking to take the summer off. Could you help me out? Or I'm looking to take a week off in 2 weeks. Can you help me out? Because they don't want to be calling people that they don't necessarily know who they are. I mean, they don't know who you are either, but they can talk to you a little bit easier than to simply call a number on a resume and say, hey, is this so-and-so? Can you work for me in 2 weeks? It's just easier to sort of talk to somebody online these days and to get to know sort of who they are. But, sorry, off topic a little bit. But what I want to talk to everybody about is if you are working for an office that has some warning signs. So as soon as you start practicing, you probably want to work anywhere to make the money. And that is okay. That's normal. But if you're in an office where you're starting to feel underappreciated, perhaps you never get a lunch, maybe you're not paid for staying past your shift. You might have to do chart audits, but you don't get paid for that. You might be in an office where if a patient no-shows, you don't get paid for that. If a patient's late by half an hour, you still have to see them, but then you're half an hour late. But if you stay behind your shift, you don't get paid for that. There are certain warning signs. So let me first tell you that I haven't worked in a lot of offices. I was lucky to find an office as a dental assistant, and I stayed there for 13 years. But I moved and I started working in another office closer to home. and I worked in another office as a restorative dental hygienist for about 3 months. So I've worked in maybe 3 offices in total. So I'm not speaking from a lot of experience in the sense where I've worked in a lot of offices and I've seen how a lot of offices are run, but I'm talking about things that other temps have told me, that other students have told me. So let me say, it's not okay to not get paid if a client doesn't show up, because then you're sitting there, you know, you should be making good money as a dental assistant or a dental hygienist, but if you're not being paid for that client showing up, that's not a good sign, and that's a warning sign for that office, because clearly they don't appreciate you. If an office says to you, you're not being paid past your 5 o'clock shift, that's a warning sign also, because trust me, in this field, if you work 9 to 5, it's actually 8:30 till 5:30 or 8:30 till 6, because there's always something to do afterwards. You may have to sharpen your instruments, you will have to clean up, set up for the next day. If your office does chart audits, you will have to look through those. You'll have to check your schedule for the next day, you know, see who you're seeing if there's anything you have to prepare for. You will probably be looking through your charts for the next day. You may have to finish up notes from that day that you didn't have time to do. So if you're only being paid till, say, 5, that's a warning sign too. It's normal for offices to say you are